My name is Cinta. Welcome, everyone. I will be the stage host today, so I'll kind of be guiding you all through panel after panel, try to round up some people. Today, like I said, is the wonderful Founding Lab event final presentation day, where we will have both the exhibition and panel discussions where students can reflect a little bit on the process and on the projects that they did here. So today, with the first panel, I'm joined by 6 Founding Lab students and 1 collaborator. And also the people that will be moderating the panel will be Stephanie Lindstedt, who is the head of the new Interdisciplinary Transformation University, ITU, and Christopher Linninger, who was part of the founding convent. So I think they will also give a little bit of an introduction to the topic of today. So without further ado, I would like to give the word to you.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming here to the Science Park in Linz, and welcome also to our online audience. So we are here today to look at very, very exciting projects which were developed within the Founding Lab. And let me please shortly explain to you what the context of this work is. So we invited 75 students in the summer 2023 here for the summer school to experience Linz and to also think with us on how a university in the 21st century could actually look like. What would this be? We then extended this with the fall term with our 25 students, and we have some of them here in this panel. Again, the idea was on the one hand to work on interdisciplinary projects and at the same time reflect on how interdisciplinary work works and how it can actually be taught and how we can embed this knowledge and this understanding in our new university, the ITU, in the future. So this is the living lab for the new university, and I'm very, very excited that we got so much great turnout and great projects. This specific panel is on interdisciplinarity, so we will see those 6 projects, and then afterwards have a discussion on interdisciplinarity and especially also looking into the process on how those project results were achieved. So it's not only the result, but for us also the meta view, this reflection on the process is very important in order to inform our work for ITU. So, and with this, I would like to start with Chelsea. Mira. Oh. Huh?
Okay.
Okay, so now I have the wrong order of things.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Chiao Chi. Chu. Sorry. Try it.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm surprised that I'm the first one because I'm really bad in English, but maybe you can understand what I'm talking about. Hi, I'm Chao Qi from Taiwan, and this is my teammate is Kaito and Yongjun, and we want to explore how the music can serve as a medium for learning between humans and plants and find a way for them to communicate. We will visualize this concept by sensing the biofeedback of plants to light and project this data onto an piano. By this method, plants can engage in to become the interface of the human and the plants. Oh, wait. And in this project, the system starts with human playing the piano. We design this machine to control laser device using signals from the electronica piano. And the laser will shine on the plant's leaves, and excite the energy levels within chlorophyll on the plant leaves. Through this machine and by the biosensors, we obtain clearly wave of biosignals. We trained an AI model based on these biosignals to drive the piano and proposing a new perspective on the interface between humans and non-humans.
And hello, I'm Youngjun. I'm from Korea. And as Chi explained, our performance is about 15 minutes, and it's performing between human and plant in a loop of signals that is coming from each other. So theoretically, it's an infinite piece without a beginning or an end. So the experience that our work is the sound would be pretty much similar to you sitting next to a stream, like a little river. But this imagery is not something from a horror film, that like having a sudden like bloody red water or anything you've seen in like recent AI generated video, that like river turning into forest or an ocean or a cyberpunk background cities. More than that, it's just something like nature, like small variations within a range of possibilities, and we explore that range. And no, not yet. Can we go back to okay. So, and this is a music we would like to make something very comfortable to listen, something warm, friendly, and open, and able you to surrender somehow. Because we all come from a very technological background now, and since we are very good at technology, we tend to think most solutions could be dealt with technology. We can control everything. But there are many situations in the world that we cannot control because we don't know the rules for them and we don't have the technology to deal with. Then what could be the best thing when we cannot control? And our work is trying to say you should surrender, but gracefully. So somehow allow you to let something happen to you through music, but not damaged by it, or not even damaging anyone. And also the plants. Because like we said about, like I was saying about the surrender, we are already experiencing this kind of surrender from religion, art, or other sublime experiences that we face, such as when we visit a good space or even nature in a landscape. And we want to say we should keep this attitude, same to other species as well. And now we can go to the next slide. So there are these three green boxes represent the three different streams combined in our performance. And here I was implementing DDSP, which is a neural network-based model that transfers timbre. And timbre, some of the people might not be familiar with the term, but it is a tone color. It's an acoustic texture of audio sample. And I brought some examples here. And if you play the first audio example. So if you say that you have this violin and then you have the other audio.
Somewhere over the rainbow. Okay.
Then when timbre is transferred, you get this. Okay. So on the right side, like this is how we were getting this, reading the biosignals from the plant. And since we are reading the biosignals and we are trying to get into the collaborative work with the plant and human through music, we needed a translator, a delegate, rather than using a human. We thought it would be the best spot for AI to come in to translate, which might have less inherent bias compared to human, I guess. So in the performance, the piano will be played by a human pianist, and then the other piano it is automatically played. It's called Descafia. And the notes for that piano is a translated result from DDSP trained on our pianist intention, and that is what you will hear from the plant side.
Today, so I tried to talk about the potential discoveries in disciplinary project and the methodologies to realize them. So, for example, we were able to present lasers from being merely plant stimulation devices and instead more than visualize the musical structure and polyphonic. So such was possible because of the deep integration of these three fields of ours, and therefore we believe the system we created translates the mere visual performance to become what can be called an instrument or representing a form of synergy. Furthermore, as a musician and scientist I am, so I primarily work on formalizing tacit knowledge into explicit knowledge. So in other words, making the skills of those who are proficient into something preservable or transmissible. So this time from our side, I have tried to formalize how to resolve conflicts and steer towards synergy in an interdisciplinary project. So please look at the image. So I would like to simplify it. So in an equal relationship, different perspectives hold different axes. So red one and blue ones. And during such times, conflicts and frictions are expressed by components that move in opposite directions. So big red ones and dots in the blue ones. So conversely, vertical components represent a relationship where pursuing one does not harm the other. So in essence, a gathering synergy between each other involving exploring how to decompose each other's values and project them onto alternative axes to make them vertical to each other. Please next. And in practice, I have applied this not only to heated discussion among others in multi-person projects, but also a creation of interdisciplinary synergy, but also internally within works. So that is how to reconcile musical conflicts arising from the difference in the umbrella between plants and humans, among others. So therefore, I invite you to appreciate the performance also from the perspective of these formalized frameworks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't know, we might need this over here, I think. So, this is all in a different order than I have it. Okay. So, sketches for self-analysis. Yes. So I hand over to you.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Cyan d'Anjou, and I'm presenting Sketches for Self-Analysis, which was a collaboration between me, Luisa do Amaral, and our artistic collaborator, Sung-Hoon Song. How do you approach uncertainty for life? Do you try to find answers, or do you take it as it comes? When we as humans face the uncertainties of life, we can often feel confronted by our lack of control. Louise and I connected on our shared experience of trying through cycles of rationalization and analysis to find a reason for a sense of losing control. Without a counterfactual gain, a lesson, or a win, we felt identifying a logic or theory that could somehow quantify our lived experience would somehow satisfy this imbalance, giving us rest or peace. Through our joint processes, we created two pieces, Anamnesis and A Knowable Certainty, an academic paper and an immersive live performance, which you'll be able to see at Deep Space tonight, which, drawing from our individual disciplines, both delve into different perspectives of how the human mind processes and interprets life. In a sociological sense, we started out with theories that explain social action through the lens of mathematical transaction. But we quickly acknowledged that trying to map human experiences through the language of computation comes short of accounting for the complexity of social reality. In every mathematical model exists a built-in margin for error that accounts for the omitted, sentimental, feeling, experiential, immeasurable factors that go unobserved. These factors that would easily skew or invalidate our results. And thus, without a clear answer, we were caught in an endless search for an unknowable variable in the equation searching for certainty. In our joint scientific methodology, that joint scientific methodology was inherently personal, cyclical, full of feeling in ways that we really wanted to make tangible to all of you so you could experience it as well. And so, translating this process into artistic expression through thank you. Through unknowable certainty was an inherently interdisciplinary undertaking. The work is a 2-channel, larger-than-life scale audiovisual performance featuring dances, film visuals, sound, narrative text, and song in a way to express across dimensions our journeys of finally finding comfort in our lack of control, comfort in simply being. The visual elements of a noble certainty, like this graph that you see here, will be projected onto the floor of the stage. They are referenced from our early explorations looking for computational representations of the human mind. But the independent variable, the dependent variable, and the way that the plots or the points are plotted on the graph are intentionally emotional, subjective, essentially rendering this graph unusable to a logical standard. Yet, in a performance setting placed in a space that allows for diverse forms of expression to coexist, this dysfunctional graph still communicates its message and intention clearly to you, its human feeling audience. The combined elements of the visual film, live choreography, and our scientific explorations converge to illustrate the process of breaking from reliving in cycles of the past, endless analysis, and extend an invitation for sentiment to exist beyond understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Sian. Since we heard this already here a few times, this evening there will be a performance at the Ars Electronica Center in the Deep Space, where you will see performances from both groups and others. So if you are interested, please join us there tonight. Okay, and with this, we come to Chelsea Goliath and Christopher Theis.
It should be on.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. This is my collaborator, Christopher, and we're excited to tell you about our brainchild, Mirror Mirror.
Cool, thank you. I would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone present here for our discussion on our installation, Mirror Mirror. So the inspiration for this installation was born from unique perspectives, but living a shared experience. Mirror Mirror is a quest to unravel the ongoing complexities in engineering a utopian era of unbiased technology. Our objective is never to eradicate biases within AI. Unfortunately, many of us do know and recognize that biases exist within AI. Rather, Mirror Mirror doesn't claim to have answers, but rather ignite a wider discourse and introspection about the inherent biases within these technological systems. The centerpiece of our installation is both a literal and metaphorical reflection of these themes. It transcends traditional technology, evolving into more of an artistic medium that not only showcases but also challenges our understanding of AI biases and personal prejudice. This installation then shifts the focus on providing from providing answers to prompting questions. So yeah, I think following from that, we again took this more as a catalyst for the recognition of social biases and personal roles within these complex systematic areas.
Because of our shared experiences, our collaborative approach was the instrumental pivotal point in how we were able to transcend the disciplinary boundaries to bring together our insights to foster a very comprehensive understanding of that bias and how it affects people like us. And I would say that the synergy was a pivotal point in creating the environment that was essential for tackling these issues, especially as we approach the project. In our journey and utilizing our shared skill set, we employed our data science methods that include algorithmic and machine learning analysis, where we trained models like famous data sets like Oliveri's face data set, large face data networks, Celeb A, Fairface, and we employed some basic convolutional neural networks and debiasing techniques. This was very interesting when we were trying to unpack it because it informed our understanding of how these biases manifest in AI. It's important for us to understand that people like us are not always behind these algorithms, and that's how these biases manifest. And to us, this is more than a project, it's more of a journey, which is why it's an ongoing process. It's not a complete process, but it's a pivotal start for us to understand that this is a journey into the heart of AI and societal implications. And it's a conversation starter, not a problem solver. It's a reflection of our collective biases as human beings and a beacon of change towards a more equitable technological future for everyone. We see the importance of this conversation, and there's a need for ongoing dialogue and for introspection in the field of AI and technology on everyone's side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with this, we come to our last contributor, Pian-Yao Liu, who will present to us a dreamscape, so to say.
Yeah. So I really love dreams. And sometimes in my dreams, I have very mystical experiences. And sometimes when I wake up, I feel like I don't want to wake up. I want to go back into that dream. So that's why I was thinking, what if we can have an experience that lets you relive your dreams? And that's why I developed this virtual reality system. So in this system, when you're getting the virtual experience, you have a little ear in your palm. And then what you can do is you can whisper into that little ears about your dreams. And then what you whispered about will be visualized in the virtual space. And then maybe you can walk through your own dream objects or even use your hand to pick it up, scale it up or down, or throw it away in the air so that you can reconstruct your own dream world in a way. And then this project is also, we conducted a scientific study. So what we do is I actually, as a researcher, did a 2-week self-observation study. And every morning when I wake up, I have a recorder right next to my bed. And the first thing I open my eyes is to push record. And I keep my eyes shut and then start to speak about whatever I remember from that dreams. And then at the end of the day, I put on the VR headset and then try to relive my own dream experiences for 2 weeks. And then I write down my own reflection note as a researcher and then see how would it feel like to live with this system for 2 weeks. So if you go to the next slide, there is a video about the system. So here I'm giving I said I dreamed of an aircraft from the movie Dune. And then the generative AI system gave me this organic looking aircraft with texture, and then you can use your hand to grab it and interact with the object. Iron Man. And then so I dreamed of Iron Man. Why not? And then you can play with it and then really try to hopefully re-experience the feelings and thoughts and emotions in your dream. And then from the scientific study, after the 2 week of self-observation, I was collaborating with dream scientists from Montreal who have been working on brain and dreams for 30 years. And one of the key insights we get is that by using generative AI model to generate these dream objects, it provide a potential anchor for us to anchor some personal meanings in our dream. And then from there, we can start to explore deeper insights about ourselves. Maybe we can even develop new understandings about our waking life problems. And also, as a media artist, I also build upon this system and we'll have a performance tonight at Deep Space. So if you have time, please stop by. And thank you very much.
So thank you very much for this really great presentation, the first round. You can see a lot of the projects today here. They are showcased here and also tonight in the Deep Space. Actually, the dream is a good keyword for our little discussion round, because when we started with Founding Lab, actually we started with the dream of a new university based very strongly on interdisciplinarity. Now, interdisciplinarity is also part of the name of the university. So the goal is set, and at the beginning we were not quite sure how to find out how this is really working within the university, and we are still researching. And so the first research project we set up was the Founding Lab. So we knew approximately what dish we would like to cook, and we knew quite clearly what kind of ingredients we need for this dish. And the ingredients we needed is like total diverse background of people, total diverse background of disciplines and all this. And we thought we start with an experiment to bring this all together and see what's happening. And actually we are now at the stage where we can now reflect a little bit on what was happening there. And actually I would like to ask you, maybe we start with the Stream in Wayne's group, because you found yourself as a group within the Founding Lab, actually, and you come from so diverse backgrounds, and technology, art, and so on. And I just wonder, within the process you had, what were the main challenges you were facing in the process? And also, you had a certain background. You're coming from certain disciplines, certain backgrounds. What did you learn about interdisciplinarity here in the Founding Lab? So I'm not sure who would like to start. So maybe about the challenges, or yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, as you mentioned, like we didn't knew each other before this program, and we all come from different country, and we're not good at English, but English was the only language we have in common. So itself was a challenge, I suppose. But to me, what was interesting was in the result, like we have a very blended color in our work. We don't have a single color, like, because even for me, like, I don't think only my contribution stands out. So together, like, we were touching a very like big question, I suppose, because if I just pursue my research in my domain, I can just keep going with the like hitting the benchmarks that already computer science domain has been hitting on. But in this case, when it comes to interdisciplinarity, it doesn't exist. Like the measures that you've been using in your domain doesn't really work here. So I think that really brings the importance of collaboration and communication, so that you can create a new measure for, I suppose, a better culture. Because I think interdisciplinary really shines when it is contributing to a new great idea. And I think great idea comes from a corresponding culture. So to make such culture, I think interdisciplinary is what we need, but we need, like, the hardest thing, I think, is first we need different people. And then we need them to work together. So for that, like, such questions, like existing questions may not be really accessible for each. So like starting from creating a question that people from different background would resonate, that was a challenge. And I think it took a really long time for us as well.
Hello. Okay. As Yongjin said, because I come from Taiwan and I'm not really good at English, so through day and night description, then I improve my English very well. Yeah, we discuss it many times a week, and for me, because I have the background of the life science and I'm an artist too, I used to collaborate with different backgrounds peoples. But for this project, for me, it's really sometimes I feel challenged because for example, when I need to plan an exhibition, and in the past time, I need to ask everyone's what you need, because I need to set up whole installation. But the installation is served to the pianist or served to the function of the plants or the human beings. So if it need to running, and it's the first things is to serve to the other person and their needs. So I ask it many times from different language. I mean, because he speaks Japanese and I speak Chinese, he speaks English. So there are many languages in our discussing, and I, based on this information and my understand, to build up the installation in our project. So, yeah, and we made it. Thank you.
If time allows, please let me add some things. So, in terms of interdisciplinary, very roughly say, we could something which is we couldn't each of us solely do, and so from my perspective, as I said, there is many conflicts, of course. So I would like to do that, but someone said it's not cool or it's not make sense, or so it's when such situations, not only there is not only A or B, but there is the other ways. So how to search the way, and I have learned from, for example, the attitude to the plants of the tree. So, or what Yunjun said, the kind of surrender. It may have several meanings, but in sense of myself. And so that's why I have learned many things from the collaboration. So I appreciate the opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So with Chelsea, you approached a very complex topic, biases. There's a problem all over humanity already with this, and now it's exacerbated through AI. You worked with a collaborator, so how did you approach this process in an interdisciplinary way?
Thank you for the question. I would say that this project was really born out of alienation. I think as a Black person, being a Black person and navigating this world is one of the most alienating experiences, and it's not talked about enough. And so we approach this collaboration from a very personal experience, a very shared experience that both of us can relate to. And that's what we used as the foundation to be able to address this issue. We received a lot of criticism along the way. People asked us, how do you plan on solving this? How do you think you could challenge this? And it was never for us to solve the problem. It was for us to use our experience and to apply that in an artistic way to make people see the world the way we do, or try to make them understand it from that perspective, because it's not spoken about or it's not seen enough. And collaborating with someone who could at least share that experience was a very important part of it, because I felt so alienated. I felt like there was no one else who I could share this experience with, who would try to, or at least understand what it's like to walk into a room and for facial recognition technology to not even detect your face because of how you look, or because of the Afrocentric features that I have, or because of the color of my skin. there's no one else that would have been able to understand them. Then that's why it was so quintessential to have someone that was able to also understand that. I don't know if you want to touch on that a bit, maybe.
So I'll just add on to that. I think the aspect of interdisciplinary played quite a crucial role because I come from a very kind of like academic focused background. Being a chartered accountant and data scientist, my life has always been focused on a input process output kind of objective that I got to follow. And I think being able to express these types of issues through a different medium, through a medium that not many people express and kind of project and inform people of these issues. It was quite a challenging thing to do. But yeah, essentially the shared experience played a very vital role, being able to not just feel that you're working with someone who understands, but can empathize. And I think trying to communicate some type of feeling or emotion, then I believe that, yeah, our objective is kind of there to get people just to kind of think about it. How do I feel about this? I feel weird that this futuristic technology is not seeing me, and being able to, yeah, get that conversation going.
Okay, thank you very much. I think this is a very important aspect to it, also in building up this university, because you know, sometimes if you're so centric on certain technology development, you are to a certain degree blind if you're not including diversity within the university, within the teaching, within the whole setup. So it's very thank you for your contribution. Also in terms of diversity, actually, I would like to hand over to you now, because your project, if you look at it, there is quite core generative AI components in it. And if you look at the project and if you see it, you have a certain imagination what kind of startups and what kind of other commercial outputs or industrial outputs could also emerge. And in terms of interdisciplinarity and diversity, you have chosen an artistic expression for your presentation. And I just wonder how important this is, to a certain degree, to have a certain, how important the diversity of expression at the end of a project is for you, that it's not only, for instance, industrial or something, it's artistic or experimental. And I just wonder how you see this, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it's a great point about my personal struggle as well, because when you have this, you feel like, oh, I could be an artist, but also an entrepreneur, but also a scientist. And now you have different hats, and then you wonder which one should be your main hat. But I feel like, personally, I come from a background of human-computer interaction. And in the field of computer science and human-computer interaction, no one talks about dreams. So it's not easy to propose a scientific research of using the cutting-edge technology to facilitate dream technology. And I was really fortunate to really connect with these dream scientists from Montreal. They actually have a dream and nightmare lab in Montreal, and they were using neural sensors to looking at what's happening in people's brain with dreams and what's the meaning behind it for decades. And so when you find truly like-minded people, then you can really start to explore new territory in terms of scientific research. But then also, I also have a background in interactive art as well. So, and it's always challenging us to think about how can we approach technology through art. And then art could be a saving power to technology we have today. So that's why I was always reminding myself, how can I also do artistic expression through my scientific research? And then also, as you said, it could also even go beyond academia and art and become a commercial product. And a lot of people give me this feedback as well. So if you use this system not for dream visualization, but maybe for imaginary fictional story, you can totally create your own imaginary world with the system as well. So indeed, there is a very wide application for the system. And I think to have all these things is especially crucial in for the future university education as well, is that we're not just educating only scientists or only artists or only entrepreneur, but to be able to have this education that you can branch out and then have this all a variety of potential contribution to our world. That's my take. Yeah.
Communicating science, technology, and of course needs to be at the core also of our university, and for this art is a wonderful medium. And Sian, you used multiple modes of self-expression. So how did you get into this process, and how did your collaborators help in there?
Absolutely. My collaborators were absolutely vital in making the project come to life. As I explained a little bit, it was a project that heavily wanted to explore the place of feeling, emotion, and sentiment within logical scientific structures. And my collaborator, Luisa do Amaral, she is an architect and a sociologist, and my background is in design and art. So we have very different methodologies and approaches to the way we do our work. But one thing we joked about in the beginning is that I tend to be a very logical artist, and she tends to be a very like sentimental scientist. And something that we really came together about is how much that process fed each other. So I learned a lot about philosophical, sociological background research, and that really helped me create new visions for the project. And I think being able to visualize our concepts, our research, was a really nice way for us to do a back and forth. But what tended to happen is we got caught in this cycle, and I explained that a little bit as well. And to kind of jump ourselves out of this cycle, we allowed this very personal experience to become a collective. So we reached out to Sung-Hoon Song, who is an artist, filmmaker. And when we presented this idea, he immediately created this landscape of narrative, of visuals, and gave the project new dimension. The same thing happened when we then went to the next step and reached out to performers and choreographers who, like Donna Kim and Mai Yuen Tri, who are performers in the film, they really capture the essence of the film in their expressions and the way that emotion rests in a human body. And so we saw the project grow in that aspect as well. And that kept happening as we reached out to new people and invited different mediums and different forms of expression to join our project. Now we had this film aspect. We reached out to our sound designer, Brian Wu, who created a sound landscape. And so suddenly this idea of logic and feeling intertwining became this very natural, full of kind of like sounds of the sky, sounds of the forest, sounds of animals, all coming together and expressing that in a new way. And so what I really hope to show in the final output is how all of these perspectives, how all of these disciplines can come together to bring new shape to an idea in a way that we really couldn't have imagined before we started the work, but I think was necessary for it to come to a new stage beyond our own disciplines and beyond our own understanding.
Thank you very much. I think what all these projects show very strongly is that interdisciplinary research or work is not where you have a problem at the beginning and then you divide it up, and one is doing the programming and one is doing the social aspects and the next one is doing the art. But that these things have to really melt into each other. And by working together, by understanding each other's competences and methods, something new evolves. So it's basically the other way around than what we normally experience as in the division of labor as we do. So, and this is actually what ITU will be all about, is to be a melting pot of disciplines and of cultures, I hope. And with this, I want to thank you for coming here today. And please explore all these wonderful projects, and we will have several of these kind of panels here today. Thanks for coming, and enjoy.
So, before maybe all of you leave, we do have some time for some questions. So if anybody has questions, or if the students have questions to each other about the project, you're very welcome to pose them now.
What about that?
Also, we have a live stream, so maybe anyone on the live stream has a question. Otherwise, I will have a question. So I am very curious for you, because of course, like now you have been part of this pilot semester, and it's kind of been like an experiment. And do you guys have any advice now for this university moving forward?
I would love to emphasize one of the biggest things that we learned throughout this past semester, and especially highlighted in our last couple of chapters here. And it relates a lot to what you just said, which was this idea that there's not a starting point and an end point. One thing we talked a lot about was this idea of non-linearity, the fact that knowledge and the way that we explore education isn't a timeline. Every time new information is input into the system, it completely transforms what we originally thought. And so we keep going through these kind of explorations that don't look like a line at all, but really look more like a spiral, or maybe they don't have a defined structure. But that's something I really want to emphasize, like this new way of looking at time, this new way of looking at what it means to contribute to something like together. Non-linearity was a big piece of our explorations this semester.
I imagine this place to be like a boiling pot of different cultures. So I think I would say to the marginalized or the minorities that your voice is valid, regardless of how small you think you are. Your voice is valid in a space where you can contribute. You could use the voice that you think you don't have, and you could make something of it. I feel like that's something coming from a third world country. We're not often taught to speak up for ourselves. We're not often taught to say what's on our minds, because we feel like we just have to sit there and absorb everything and not use what we can say. And so I think for me at least, that's something I learned, is that your voice is valid and you have something to say, and you should believe in yourself.
I think this one works. Oh wait, it also works.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I really like a book called like 0 to 1. It's written by Peter Thiel, and there in this like the first chapter or introduction, there's a sentence called like, "What is the one thing you strongly believe that others disagree?" So I think interdisciplinary like kind of helps those who have that one question in their mind, and I hope ITU does that. And thank you.
Great.
And I resonating with what Chelsea said, and in order to succeed in such way, or searching for A, B, and C, and a key point, I feel like it's a bit abstract, but kind of sense of tolerance or allowance. And my now curious is how to nurture of such kind of sense of each other's. Otherwise, we cannot find another way, or more persist on myself, or like. So yeah, I'm now on the way to search for, but yeah, I think it's one of the essential aspects of the interdisciplinary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. I think as well, like it's been what you just said about making your voice heard. I think that was really fantastic. Like the last semester, that we had such a great group of students who were so vocal and are so willing to share their different experiences. And it wasn't always easy, because it was also a lot of learning for us and for everyone. But that was what made it actually also really fun and special, I think.
I have one more question for you. When you started, we had this discussion about what kind of topics or things touch you the most, or are you most struggling with. And one of the topics was, well, if there's AI in this world and it does already everything, all the creation, all the creativity, all this, where's the space for humans? Where's the space for myself? So I felt that was a very personal expressions of yours. Did you get any further in this with this idea, or with the understanding of this interaction between AI, or let's say the machine, and yourselves?
I think more than anything, our project proves that AI can't do anything. I mean, everything, especially for marginalized groups and people who are often not seen. And 9 times out of 10, those people look like me. And so in those developments, it was important for us to understand that human beings have the most vital role to play in accelerating these AI systems further. AI is not ever going to solve everything. It's not ever going to be the answer to everything. And that's why it was so important for everyone in the founding lab to also come to terms with the fact that we play a huge role. And the interactions that we had with one another was so important to us, because that fuels the way we go into the world. It fuels the conversations we start, the conversations we have with one another. And being part of the founding lab, I would have never imagined to mingle with so many different people from so many different backgrounds. And they formed so many important opinions that I feel like I'll take along with me as well. It was just a really important experience, and I don't wish it would have gone any other way.
Yeah, so boom, boom. Okay, perfect. From a personal note, I love AI, I love machine learning. Every aspect of it is just really cool for me. But I think people can't help but feel threatened by the extremely fast progress of AI, and almost having this aspect of being replaced. But I think throughout this entire journey, one quote always just stays in my mind, that AI has no common sense. And I think in that, I began to realize that machine learning, AI, any type of advancement, irrespective of how that goes, at the core of it, people are essential. There's a certain quality, and I don't know what the term would be, but the quality of being human, the quality of being able to kind of make use of these tools that we have, and again, see it more as an accessory to enhance existing traits and qualities that we have, and change one's perspective of it no longer being a threat, but kind of seeing how you can integrate this in what you have it be a learning tool. I mean, there's quite a lot of things I've learned from kind of just going through this journey. And yeah, so I think the perspective of it is quite essential, and having more of a positive view on it and seeing it for literally what it is. Yeah.
I think Sian wants to say a few words.
Yeah, I think it's a fascinating question. It's something that we explored a lot in our project. One thing that we talked about is that the brain is the brain because of the body that we're in. And the bodies that we have are so because of the context that we exist within. And so when we create standards for AI that are the same as standards for the human brain, or try to replicate it in some way, we miss some factors in its translation. So one thing that I thought was kind of an important conclusion, and something that was really brought up by some of the data exercises we did here. For example, we went out into Linz and we counted with a counter how many vehicles were passing on a certain street. And then we pass it through an algorithm that was trained on data about vehicles in Boston. And a lot of the vehicles in Linz, like the tram or the little trash pickup vehicles or the green spaces, they are not recognized by that algorithm. And I wouldn't say that that's a type of bias that is necessarily harmful, but it's contextual. So the human factor and the changes in context are an incredibly important aspect of AI research. And there are different standards and different modes of evaluation or modes of being that are different for humans and different for AI. So yeah, one thing that we talked about is not trying to put ourselves in the standard of a computer, and also allowing computers to live by their own standards as well that they're unique for.
What I really love is that all of you are so much more self-confident, and also in that respect self-confident towards AI than you were when you came here, because I was really touched when you especially voiced this about if AI can do everything, what do we do? Yeah, and this, I think this learning experience has really shown that AI is really not the end, right? So and I think that alone is a good outcome here.
So, to be honest, yeah, I don't want to talk about the technological side of the AI, because every day cool stuff's come out. Even today, I saw a model from Google. It's called Lumiere. The brothers. It was brothers, I suppose. They created the film, and the model name is Lumiere, and their quality is amazing. And anyways, and so I don't want to talk about AI, but I want to talk about something that cannot be computed. So, of course, maybe scientists would consistently try to calculate and somehow develop new sensors, put chips on the brain. I mean, it's okay, but I think it is the time we can really focus on what is then not even incomputable, but incalculable. I really think that is the point. If you look through the articles of Yukui, YUKHUI, he has some articles in eFlux, and he talks about this cosmotechnics and the how these kind of future digital experiences could still stand on human. And yes, I think we already are in a different pace. We are already experiencing new technologies, and it is somehow transforming the landscape of our current experience. But I was saying about the surrendering part in my slides, and I really think we should remember that the most aesthetic part comes from the surrendering part, not the controlling one. And yeah, yeah. So I don't know, interdisciplinary, it'll be fun, I guess. Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Perfect closing.
I think we have time for one more question, and I thought there was one person in the crowd who had a question. Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting discussion. My name is Uglješa. I'm coming from Novi Sad. I'm visiting currently here Matarena during my mobility research here in Linz. And I'm investigating a lot about AI in education, in ICT enhanced education, and it's a big a buzzword right now, and AI education, and also AI literacy. And then what I found is that you can investigate something that is called competencies for AI, with AI, and about AI. So if I'm a teacher, if I want to teach something, maybe I can use AI to teach something, or I can be a teacher to talk about AI, right? Or I can do some research for AI, right? So this is the question for everyone. I know AI is becoming more and more interdisciplinary, and then we have to include also this cognitive science as well and things like that. So what would be maybe advice for me as a teacher? What should I invest in my future competence regarding for, with, or about AI? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody who wants to start? Yes, Kaito, let's go.
Sorry, I'm not so much, no, I don't so much information about the AI, but every time I was reminded the two cases. One is the shogi. Have you ever, shogi is a kind of Japanese traditional, like a chess, shogi, really like chess, and AI is already stronger than humans, but there is many, and in Japan there is one famous shogi master, and he has many fans. I don't know, but remember that AI is stronger than human. Such situation. And the other case is the karaoke. Have you ever tried karaoke? So sing a song. Even if there is some super singer better than you, you would like to sing. Such situation is also reminded me when talk about AI. Sorry, that's it. Yeah, but yeah, open world.
Yeah, like he talked about super singer, so I suppose that is like a AI model that could sing really well, but maybe we would still enjoy singing and still enjoy live performances. And I want to talk about a bit of mapping thing, like cartography things, because we also had in Founding Lab we had a workshop counter mapping on the existing agencies, and if you look at the history of map, it is really interesting that they were drawing the world, like not even visiting there. And there, it shows how much you can imagine about your understanding, but at the same time, it shows your limitation of understanding. So I think in education, it is really important to like push, don't push, but like guide the students. Guide the students. Yeah, don't push the students. Yeah, they will fall. So guide the students to the area they might have not visited, but like they might enjoy it. Like I think education will still serve a very serendipity role in understanding the world, because more knowledge is not always a better, but it helps you to create a new knowledge or new understanding of yourself. So maybe I really think like knowing more actually also helps you to feel more. Yeah, like there's a book from like I think it was Richard Dawkins, and the title is Unleashing the Rainbows. So when Newton first found out, in the sunlight there are like 7 colors of light, like we can separate it with a prism, and there was a English poet who criticized so badly about it, like you destroyed our like beauty of sunlight and so on. But I think from Newton, the optical, the physics started, and then we now have a telescope to see beyond our atmosphere, the place we cannot even reach in our lifetime. So I believe AI can draw the map of our knowledge and help the students, individuals, in a sense of bringing us to the unknown unknowns. Yeah.
So with that, I think we are going to close this first panel. So thank you so much to the students. Thank you so much to the moderators. Thanks everyone who was watching.